it's funny because the assumption of furthering the cause of reading is almost always immediately relocated to children. And and when we looked around and said, okay, where can we actually do the most good right now when it comes to reading? We found that children are fairly well served in terms of the number of organizations that are working on literacy, the number of organizations that are working on access to books and reading. We do some great partnerships with organizations like First Book to make sure that children develop reading habits early. But then we went to the other end of the life course and we said, so what's happening to reading as people get older? And what happens for reading when you're getting towards the end of life? And we thought, oh, okay, that's a really interesting place. Let's find the organization that's working on that and see if we can help them. And then we found out that there wasn't one. Like there is literally no organization focused on helping with access to reading for older adults. Zero. And which is fascinating because you get, as people get older as readers, you have this collision of economic factors, of health and accessibility issues, the ability, reading becomes more difficult. Macular degeneration becomes a factor. The ability to lift and hold things becomes an issue. Mobility is a factor. You can't get to bookstores and libraries anymore. And then, as you go into retirement homes, as you go into long-term care, people are having to let books go, leave libraries that they've accumulated behind. And then find themselves in these kind of literary deserts where all you're left with is, the large print books which have been purchased. And if you've ever gone to a large print book, category, you'd better really like Jackie Collins and Tom Clancy, because it's not it's not pretty. So we started to do work with older adults, and we're looking particularly at where could ebooks and e-reading help with aging populations and preserve the access to reading. And that's been just a fascinating field for us to dive into, because not only does it have us putting our designers and our industrial designers into contact with older adults and getting a sense of what some of those barriers to usability are, but it then forces us to raise our game across areas of accessibility generally, because if you're serving an older adult population, you have to deal with vision impairment. You have to deal with issues of tactility and physical usability. You're looking at readability and legibility. Like all of that just forces to up our game generally as designers, as people who are putting products together, and that helps all of our readers.